Thalassa Edge of the Abyss by Serpeta?
Yeah, no, I'm glad you did that. Thanks for doing that for me.
Yeah, of course. June 18th, 2024. Dave, take it away because meh.
Not really a fan?
Not a fan of this one.
Okay, here's the deal, guys. Here's the deal, guys. This game, this one's gonna be short and sweet. I'm gonna be honest. It's not anything that is like groundbreaking. It really isn't. It's not a groundbreaking thing. But what really kind of got me is this is a psychological horror, like a drama.
Don't call it a horror.
Well,
It's not a horror.
It kind of is.
Not a horror, Dave. It's not a horror.
It kind of is.
No, it's not.
I feel like it kind of is.
It kind of isn't.
Okay. Either way, it's a psychological drama, but I think what the unique part of it is that you are going to be completely underwater, looking at like searching through a sunken ship.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it's scary.
That's so scary.
No, I think it's psychological and like trying to figure out your way through and things like that. I don't think it's gonna be a horror game, and they're not posing it as a horror game.
There's gonna be jump scares. There's gotta be
no
jump.
way.
There's
Maybe
gotta be
things falling, but nothing other than that. Like, oh, a rack fell on me, but it's in the water, so how hard can it actually fall?
I've never seen Adam so angry at a game
I wasn't
before.
interested in this game. Dave crapped on my game last week, and I was like, oh, I don't want to do that. So I was trying to find everything to excite me about this game. It looks boring.
This is great. This is great.
I don't like this one.
Let loose. Let loose, Adam. Let
No,
loose.
I think it looks boring. It seems like, I don't know.
All right, let's pull up the trailer.
Yeah.
I'm
I
so
think this is probably my first game where I'm really like, I actually looked at this one earlier, like a couple weeks ago, and I was like, oh, we'll talk about this. And then I watched the trailer and I was like, yep, not bringing this one up.
I think this looks really fun. I'm so excited that the roles have switched for this.
Yeah. Normally it's Dave crapping on games, but now it's me. So here's the trailer.
Yeah, okay. Here's the trailer. Guys, if you guys are just listening, what we're looking at right now is a little kind of submersive underwater. And I think so right now you're kind of like teetering on the edge. You're like walking through these caverns. You have this like little light in your hand and you see like the glow of your helmet. And the one really cool thing about this is that this story takes place in 1905. So it's not even like a new, like everything that you're looking at is like that vintage style, and you know that I love that vintage style. And I just think it's gonna be a really interesting game, and it looks really like, I know it's not technically a horror game, but like you're crawling through this like sunken ship right now. You're picking up like clues, trying to put together pieces of the puzzle, but you're doing this all underwater in like in a diver suit. And I think that already just kind of sets the stage as like a claustrophobic kind of eerie, kind of unsettling space for you to be in just while you're playing the game. And I think that's kind of gonna like add to, you know, the value of the story behind it, where you're trying to, you know, explore these places. You're trying to put together pieces of the puzzle and figure out what happened. And it's just all kind of like an experience together. I think it's gonna be really interesting.
You know where I don't, this game kind of didn't do it for me, is it didn't feel like it was underwater to me. Like, yes, yeah, like, yeah, there was bubbles popping up, but like the way she was walking, there's things floating, but the way they're moving in the water, like I didn't get any sense, like you didn't see like any fish swimming by or like swimming in the boat. Like I just felt like it had like water and then no elements of really showing that you're in water.
I can understand what you mean there. And again, guys, if you guys just are listening and you didn't get a chance to look at the trailer, I think a good example of that is like, you remember in the trailer when she flips over the picture?
Yeah.
And you get to see the, you know, the clue on the other side of the picture. You wouldn't be able to flip a picture like that in water.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
like it wouldn't.
I just felt like it's not well done in my opinion. I felt like, and the story isn't that cool to me, I guess. I think that's kind of where I went with it. Like, I was trying to get excited about it. I was like, okay, one, it's underwater. I love underwater stuff too, but it didn't feel like it was underwater aside from wearing the diver suit. And then two, I didn't like the fact that, I don't know, like the whole puzzle story thing, that's cool. Like, don't get me wrong. It just, the story doesn't seem like it's gonna be that good. But that's just I don't know.
I think that you know what I think this one gets a little bit of a free pass for me on that stuff. I'm kind of going into it like kind of knowing. So this is from Team 17. It's only going to be on Steam. This is only a PC. So I think I'm giving it a little bit of a free pass here on some of these things just because this isn't a AAA title. Like it's not. Like there's not tons of money getting poured into this. There's not like this hasn't been in development for crazy long. There's not a huge team working on this project. So I think I kind of give it a little bit of a free pass, but like story wise, I think it's very interesting. And I think it's something that really, I mean, you can argue that Subnautica is kind of like this, but it's not it's got the same feel of it. Story wise, what's going to happen is you're playing as Cam. You're basically a deep sea diver that's on this mansion ship. The name of the ship is the Thalassa, which is where they got the name from. Essentially think of the Thalassa as like the Titanic of 1905. And you guys are embarking on this adventure of which is unknown at the moment. I don't know where you're going or where you're headed, but whatever, things start going wrong. And eventually you find that your crew is gone, the ship has sunk, and you need to explore the wreckage of the ship to try to find your crew members to solve the mystery of what happened. And you have this companion up top who stays above the water named Bailey, who is going to be guiding you throughout like throughout your playthrough. So it's like you're not totally submersed alone. You're going to have some clues and some stuff thrown at you. But I think it's really interesting the way that they've done it because unlike Subnautica, this is really I'm trying to think of like a good game to compare it to in the terms of like problem solving. It's got like Resident Evil feel to it when it comes to like solving the puzzles and like finding the clues and things like that. And I really enjoy that stuff. And I think to have it in an underwater setting where you're exploring a sunken ship, which you already know that I love that stuff. I mean, I just think it's kind of a cool idea. And I do see a lot of things that aren't perfect about the game, but like I said, I'm giving it a free pass.
One other thing I didn't like about it is when she walked into that bigger space, it showed her the clues where they all were. Did you notice that? They were all shining. And like for me, like when I played Visage, kind of going to that game, like nothing was marked. You had to figure out everything on your own.
Yeah, I mean, so I think maybe you might be reading into that a little bit more. I think they're just kind of identifying things that you can pick up. I wouldn't say that they're necessarily identifying like these are four clues. I mean, there's probably one of those things that you need to pick up and figure out something with, but they're just kind of, I believe they're just identifying things that you can pick up. And it's a good thing that you brought up Visage because I don't get me wrong, I like Visage. Did you like Visage?
It was scary, but yeah.
It was scary, but like, was it also kind of confusing at times?
Confusing, impossible, and I felt like I could never like truly try to figure out what's going on because I was always running away from the villain.
Right. And it's like their puzzles were so hands off, so not
Mm-hmm.
hand holding that it became just okay. There was like times where I was playing Visage and I was really, really scared. But then after that kind of wore off, I just became really frustrated because I couldn't figure out what I was supposed to do. And I no longer cared about being scared. Like I wasn't scared anymore. I was just frustrated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I kind of like that they have this puzzle aspect to it, but it doesn't seem so crazy. Like you're
Right.
like you're gonna be stuck at a part for like 20 minutes. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like when I played Visage, there was this one part where it's like, oh, do you remember the old lady in Visage where you
Oh,
want
I
to go?
hate that one.
Yeah, okay. So when she's like she's saying something about her tea, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so naturally thinking, I've already been to the attic, right? And I saw the tea container up there, so
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, obviously I need to go up to the attic and get her tea container. Like, no, that's not what you needed to do. You needed to go to the basement and move the toilet aside and jump down in a random hole. And I'm like, that doesn't even make freaking sense, dude.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't even make sense. What are you talking about? So
And then there was like when you had to go outside and you had to do a specific order, and it's like and like light these different things on fire, crush the bones in a certain order. I can't remember exactly what it was, and I was like, how would I have known that order? Like, there's nothing that would have told me that order.
you could be right. It could be so easy that they're just kind of showing you everything, which I hope they don't do, but it could also just be like, hey, this is 4 things that you can pick up. You should probably pick up one of them. Like,
I don't want to be the guy to hate on it. I know we always talk about like, oh, we don't want to be the one to hate on it. It's just not intriguing to me right now. I think just yes, it's a smaller developer and like I just mechanically like I don't think it looks that good. Or like the visuals of the water just isn't enticing to me.
I'm not gonna lie with you. I 100% agree. I don't think the visuals is what's selling it for me. I really don't. I think just kind of the idea and the story seems really interesting to me, and I'm giving it a free pass on the rest of the stuff just because it is a little bit of a smaller developer. It's not a AAA title, but I don't know. I think it's gonna be. I think it's interesting, and I think if you're into this style game, maybe something to put on the radar. I can't imagine it's gonna be super expensive. I mean, at 20 $30 maybe. Yeah. So this one drops on June 18th. It is called Thalassa Edge of the Abyss. If you are a fan of psychological dramas or mysteries and stuff like that, or underwater, just finding sunken ships and all that good stuff, definitely put this one on the radar because I think it's going to be all right.